Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Welcome to the segment of Khoj Gurbani's a-sabad-a-day. Our recitation today, Gauri Kabir Ji, and we will be reciting the 25th stanza. The recitation. Gauri Kabir Ji, Jeh Kul Putna Gian Bichari, Bidwa Kasna Bhai Mehtari. Jeh Nar Ram Bhagat Neh Sadhi, Janmat Kasna Muo Aparadhi Rahao. Much much garb gaye keen bachya, Bud bhuj roop jive jag majya. Kaho Kabir jaise sundar saroop, Naam bina jaise kubaj kuroop. Jeh Kul Putna Gian Bichari, Bidwa Kasna Bhai Mehtari. This couplet has been generally translated to read that the family or lineage, Jeh Kul, in which the son has not reflected on wisdom, Putna Gyan Bichari. The question is, why wasn't that mother widowed before she could give birth? Bidwa Kasana Bhai Mehtari. This is the general translation, a literal translation that we will encounter. But it seems to this translator that this may be missing some of the inner symbolism, because most of the translations are ascribing popular everyday meanings to words like kul and puth. And so we end up with a rather pedestrian and somewhat misleading explanation. Because Gurmat is concerned not so much with the external or material, but with the mystical and spiritual. So we have to make an attempt to understand the inner symbolism of these words, to actually understand what Kabirji is talking about. Take the word kul, for instance. Now, true enough, in common usage, it is indeed used for family, but it has many other connotations which seem more appropriate here. Kul is also used to describe a specific tantric path called Kaula, with which both Kabir and Nanak were very familiar. As a matter of fact, we know that they've engaged with the Siddhas. We know, for example, that Kabir may have spent many years practicing these techniques before turning to Gurmat. And similarly, the word Puth is used for offspring, spiritual offspring, the offspring of the Guru, Guru Ka Jaya in Gurbani. So Kul, while it means family, pedigree, a congregation, if you will, also refers to the condition of the mind, where the mind and sight, where the heart and mind merge, the senses have lost their independence. So it's referring to the power of the mind. That is the path that Kabir is commenting on. So what he is saying is that spiritual path, Jeh Kul, which does not result in self-realization, Putana, meaning if you're on a path and you don't achieve self-realization through reflection on wisdom, Gian Bichari, that path is devoid of essence. Such a path is incomplete because it hasn't grasped the essence. Bhai Mehtari, Bidwa Kasna Bhai Mehtari. Mehtari is mother. So here it is pointing to the founder of such a path. It says that founder is widowed. In other words, has not attained self-realization, doesn't know the husband, doesn't have a husband. That's the poetic symbolism of Kabir. So in other words, one needs to follow the proper path with the proper knowledge in order to achieve the right goal. And then in the Rahau, Kabir explains what that is. And that is, Jeh nar Ram pagat neh sadhi, janmat kasna muo aparadhi. They who do not live in the discipline of bhakti, devotional worship, servitude to the Ram self, in other words, they who do not harmonize with the self through the cultivation of wisdom and virtue, qualities, Janmat Kasna Moha can be interpreted in two ways. One way is to say, why were they even born? And the other way to say is that their coming is really without value because they're guilty of having died without knowing their essence. And this was an opportunity to know your authentic self. So you've lost an opportunity, you might as well have not come. And then Kabir reflects on the state of the world. Much much garb gaye. Many births, wombs, different life forms. Keen bacha, how do we escape this? We can't, says Kabir, because we are like the badbuj, the swine. Jeeve jag majaya, you know the swine enjoys rolling in filth. You can bathe it, but it'll go and roll in muck again. Likewise, we in this world like to engage with maya, which is muck, spiritually speaking, that is. And we rather enjoy it. So Kabir says, Keen Bachya, how are we to escape when we are so enamored with the senses? Kaho Kabir jaise sundar saroop, naam bina jaise kubaj karoop. Kubaj, crooked, a hunchback, also a reference to one of the schools of Tantra, which are considered to be incomplete. What Kabir is saying is, without self-knowledge, even if you possess a beautiful form, you look disfigured because something is not complete. The essence is not there. It's empty. On that note, Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.